seller, well, wait, we're going to do it a little bit differently. I had him sign a different piece of paper, had my buyer sign a piece of paper, and then I sent them to my title company, and I made, I think it was $36,000 cash, and then I had a second mortgage for about $18,000 or something like that.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting you picked up even more on that.
Yeah.
I know you sent me a copy of your first check for $36,000, and I thought, well, you're off to a good start. And I forgot that $18,000 extra, that little bonus there that you picked up. Yeah, so it's using the inverse purchase, using like Nick says, using a couple of pieces of paper to control your profit on the deal and control everybody in the transaction. It just wasn't being able to be done by anybody out there. Basically they stopped all of the flips like that, starting in 2000, and over the years they just continued to hammer away and get worse and worse at it. And the inverse purchase just continues to be about the only true method out there where you're working with full disclosure, so there's no hiding anything. You don't even hide your profit. So it's an amazing system. It works really well. Well, now the other day we were talking, and I had no idea what you went on to earn over the next year after you came in with us on that program. How much did you earn using the inverse purchase techniques then?
I would say my first, a little over a year and a half or whatever, probably a little over $250.
$250,000.
Yeah, in separate deals. And
you know what's amazing, Nick, is that we've talked on a lot of occasions, and Nick, you're kind of like me. We don't like to blow our own horn, except sometimes you have to. I'm trying to work on that better, more there. But you and I talked on different topics and different transactions and stuff. And I never knew that you had made $250,000 using that system till literally, I guess, about two or 3 weeks ago. We were just happened to be talking about a deal that you were doing, and you came up with that, and it kind of floored me. But I mean, it goes to show you there's so many people out there who've taken my course, and this may apply to a lot of people teaching real estate training. So many times you never know, who's out there doing what. Every time we do an infomercial, we'll do an email out, and people will email back saying they've made all kinds of money. Our last one we had guys all the way up to $800,000 in a single year, and but they never called me and told me about it. So from the teaching side, we put the teaching out there, we put the programs out there, we instruct people exactly how to do it, and they go out there and they start doing it, and they think they think, well, this is the way, I'm expecting this. This is what I'm supposed to expect. And then you've got other people who will get a course and go out there and not even do it. They'll throw it in their closet and wait around and buy the next course. Have you Have you seen that with other people?
Oh, sure. I think that's one of the reasons that I did well with it is because I was already investing full time. I was already going through the old simultaneous closes and all the more difficult, more complicated things. So when I saw this, I think I respected it a little bit more because I realized how simple it was compared to what I had been doing prior to that, I think. And nowadays, there's a fortune to be made in short sales, and we're definitely doing short sales.
Yep, of course.
But it's still my favorite type of deal, and it's just because it's so clean. You're not trying to tell the, typical wholesaling, you tell the seller, oh yeah, I'm buying your house, and then, you put your weasel clauses in, and if a month passes and you really don't have your buyer lined up, and you're doing the dance and backing out and making excuses why you're buying it but not giving earnest money, and, with this, it's just so clean. We tell the sellers up front, my intention is to buy it from you and sell it to somebody else. You don't care if I make a little profit on your house, do you? And in the hundreds of people we've asked that, they always say, oh, I don't care how much money you make on my house.
Right, and that's a common answer. We don't care how much you're going to make.
Yeah, and it's so upfront. We're upfront with them, and they know exactly what we're doing. They know we're going to, try to find someone to buy it from us, and they cheer us on. And usually what we get is, man, you guys have done so much more to sell our house than any realtor ever did for us. And of course,
very common.
Make a little more money than those realtors, but
a lot more money.
Yeah, but they're still happy because we get it sold.
Yeah.
And now though, I got to tell you, when I saw when I saw you toss the whole inverse purchase course in for nothing, I won't say for nothing, but someone joined as a platinum member for $697, and you give them the platinum course that I paid $3,000 for. It's was a little discerning.
I know it's a little disarming, but this is value packed, and you know how I am. So what I did for everybody listening to this is I took this course that he's talking about right now, and I threw it in as a freebie, connected into one of our courses that you get at a platinum membership. It's waiting for you in the back office. It's nothing else to buy. The paper, the pieces of paper that he's talking about are all back there, and a whole manual, almost 100 pages of manuals, which will walk you through, show you how these inverse purchases are done. And Nick, can you tell us about this deal, this inverse purchase that you closed today? How long did that deal take you to put together and fund?
Actually, door to door, I was thinking about it a little bit. I know, I'm thinking it was definitely less than 2 months. We did have some problems with a goofy attorney, and the seller wanted his attorney to check the paperwork, but it would take him 2 weeks to even return a phone call. And but less than 2 months. I mean, we got the contract to buy the house, and just advertise. We used free methods to advertise to find our buyer, and we found the buyer, and had to get the buyer had to get his financing approved and everything put together. But basically, I don't know, 7-8 weeks, I guess.
7 or 8 weeks for $25,000 cash. Now, did you have to go out to meet the seller and no, I never met the seller or buyer or looked at the house. So you didn't meet the buyer either.
No, no.
And the buyer, where did you find the buyer again?
The buyer found us.
The buyer found you.
We I don't know exactly what website, but there's a handful of sites out there you can list free houses for sale on.
Yeah, you list a house for sale, cheap houses for sale, whatever.
Yeah, and the buyer found us actually. Actually, it was another investor that found us, and because they're going to rehab the house. They're actually selling it again this Friday.
Okay, so they bought it from you. You made $25,000 on it, and they've already got another buyer behind them for it.
Yeah, they're selling it again this Friday.
That's amazing. So,
I mean, that goes to show, though, too, because now, I don't mean to interrupt, but we used to only do these with pretty houses, and then we do the whole wholesaling thing with ugly houses.
Right.
We're actually using the inverse purchase now for, I'd say, 75% of our wholesale deals when we get, like, our junkers. Like, we just closed another one. We paid, I think, $9,000 for, and sold it for like 13. And we got another one closing, I think, next week, where I got to look at the numbers, but I think we paid 12, and we're selling it for 17.5. So we even use the same paperwork now for our wholesale deal.
So what you're doing now is you're just finding any junker that's out there, and you slap a contract on it. You put it back up for sale at slightly higher than what you got your contract on it at, and you're just selling it at the next higher price to an investor.
Yeah.
And you're in and out with pull whatever profit you can out of it.
Sure, and there's work involved. You got to pick up the phone and that type of thing. But
I know those phones are really heavy. I pulled my arm out the other day doing one.
But I mean, we don't. We rarely. A lot of times we don't even look at the houses anymore. We just tell them to put a key in there, stick a key somewhere.
So you basically automated that whole system then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, I mean, it's really. I really think the inverse purchase. It's the paperwork and the way it's set up it makes it pretty easy. I mean, there's nothing. You're not hiding anything, and everybody's on board. And
right, and all the lenders agree with it, and they don't have a problem with the simultaneous close, even if your end buyer is coming in with a mortgage that normally has an issue with title seasoning. So,
right. Well,